It was still dark when the sound of barking echoed through the empty street. Snow covered everything in sight, cars, fences, mailboxes, like a thick white blanket. But under a broken streetlight, two shivering dogs pressed against each other, their fur frozen with ice, and standing a few feet away was a little girl, no older than 10, clutching a blanket that was almost bigger than her. Her name was Emma. She didn't think twice. She just ran to them, wrapped the blanket around their bodies, and whispered, "It's okay. You're safe now. Before I tell you what happened next, like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Valley. Tell me where you're watching from." Emma pushed open the creaky door of her small wooden house. Her breath fogged in the cold air as she carefully led the dogs inside. Her mother was asleep, and the old heater hummed faintly in the corner. She placed the dogs near it, fetched a bowl of water, and broke a piece of bread in half. That was her dinner from last night, but she didn't hesitate. She fed them gently, one piece at a time. They looked at her with tired eyes, confused but trusting. For the first time that winter, warmth entered that little home, not from the heater, but from kindness itself. When morning came, light spilled through the thin curtains. Emma woke up to the sound of footsteps outside, heavy ones. She peered through the frosted window and froze. There were 2 police cars parked in front of her house, and 3 officers were walking toward the door. Her mother rushed out of the kitchen, confused. "Emma, what did you do?" she whispered. But Emma just stood there, clutching the dogs tighter. A loud knock shook the door. When her mother opened it, a tall officer stepped inside. His uniform was soaked in snow, his face pale from the cold. "Ma'am," he said softly, "we've been searching for these dogs all night." He looked down and saw Emma crouched beside them, her small hand still covering their backs. "They belong to someone very important," he added, his tone uncertain. Emma's eyes widened. "Are they in trouble?" she asked quietly. The officer hesitated, then knelt beside her. "No, sweetheart," he said. "They're heroes." The room fell silent. He explained how the night before, these 2 dogs had saved a family trapped in a car accident outside town. They'd run miles through the snow to get help, but got lost on their way back. Emma looked down at them in disbelief. Her little heart, still innocent, couldn't understand why heroes could be left freezing in the dark. The officer took off his gloves and smiled gently. "They're safe now, thanks to you," Emma blinked. "But they were so cold," she whispered. "I just wanted them to be warm." He nodded slowly. "That's exactly what the world needs, more warmth." Behind him, another man stepped forward, tall, gray-haired, wearing a long coat. He looked tired, but his eyes were kind. "I'm their owner," he said quietly. "They saved my son's life last night." His voice broke for a moment. "When we lost them, I thought I'd lost everything." He knelt down, his hand trembling as he touched the dogs. Then he looked up at Emma. "You saved them, which means you saved me too." Her mother stood speechless. The man reached into his coat and pulled out an envelope. Inside was a letter and a check, but Emma didn't look at it. All she cared about were the dogs now resting at her feet, tails wagging weakly. The man smiled softly. "You have a kind heart, young lady," he said. "Never lose it. The world can be cold, but hearts like yours make it warmer." The police left soon after, and so did the man, but before stepping out, he turned once more at the door. "If you ever need anything," he said, "you know where to find us." Snow fell quietly again as their car disappeared down the road. Emma stood at the window, holding the blanket that had saved 2 lives. Her mother placed a hand on her shoulder, eyes full of pride and love. That night, Emma placed 2 small bowls outside her door. Not for those same dogs, but for any soul who might wander cold and hungry again. Because kindness once lit never fades. It spreads from heart to heart like a quiet flame against the wind. Sometimes the smallest hands carry the greatest warmth. In a world that forgets to care, one act of kindness can bring the lost back home. If this story moved you, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Valley. Share your thoughts below and never stop believing in the quiet power of kindness.